Hi, and welcome to The Bright Balloon, a podcast where I'm sharing bright ideas for your balloon business. My name is Sarah Meyer, and I'm a balloon business owner like you, and I love the creative side of what I do, but I really love the business side, which seems to be the part where most people struggle. So I'm here to help. Each week, I'm bringing you an episode full of bite-sized tips you can use to make improvements in your business. I want you to make more money, eliminate stress, and learn along with me as we grow our creative businesses together. Welcome to The Bright Balloon, presented by 17 Hats. Hello and welcome to this episode. Today, I am joined for an interview with my friend Ashley, who's the owner of Pink Flamingo Party Co. And we are talking about the ins and outs of a retail business, something I know nothing about. So thank you to Ashley for coming on. We are not only talking about retail, we're talking about staffing, training. She has also just introduced marquees into her inventory. And finally, a really interesting discussion about the balloon ban. In her area, she was hit hard by a proposed balloon ban, and we talk about how she fought it. Let's take a quick break and head over to the U-Glue hotline for some great advice that sticks, and then get into this interview with Ashley from Pink Flamingo Party Co. Welcome to the U-Glue hotline, where we discuss great advice that sticks, brought to you by Pro Tapes. If you have a question or some great advice to share, click the link in the show notes to call in and leave a voicemail.
Hi, Sarah. My name is Alexis. I own Lulu Balloons, and we are located outside of, actually right in the center of St. Louis, Missouri. And I am calling to leave a tip for any of your listeners. I've been around for about 3 years, and my tip is to build community over competition. The more people you know, the more fun it is, and the more clients you'll get, and the better I think your reputation is. And the more you work together, the more fun you have. Thanks. Bye.
Pro Tapes is a leading manufacturer of specialty tape products like Pro Gaff, Pro Artist Tape, and our favorite balloon tape, U-Glue, which helps you create amazing balloon arrangements and decorations in less time. You can save 5% on U-Glue when you buy directly from Having a Party using code BRIGHT at checkout. All right, welcome to this episode. Ashley, it's about time. Pink Flamingo is your retail shop, and we're going to talk about retail, marquees, balloon bans. We have a lot in store. Before we hop in, why don't you give us an introduction?
Hey, party people. I'm Ashley. I own Pink Flamingo Party Co. We are a luxury retail and balloon company located in Connecticut. We serve Connecticut and New York. We've been doing this for about 5.5 years. And yeah, I'm so excited to be here.
So you're retail, but you also do installations, correct?
Yeah. So we actually started, funny enough, we started e-commerce selling party supplies and then evolved into the DIY kits. And then right before the pandemic, we were lucky enough to start delivering balloons, which basically teed us up to be where we are now, which is, one of the largest balloon delivery companies in Connecticut. So
that's awesome. So in your shop, you have like the paper goods, party goods. How big of a business is that? Or does it just kind of like supplement the balloons?
Yeah, so I would say party supplies definitely, I'll be so honest, they don't necessarily pay the bills.
Yeah.
We do well over 6 figures in paper goods, but the margins aren't as great as they are on balloons. We do carry brands in our store. We try primarily to carry brands that are made in the US or made by small women-owned businesses, and they meet both of those requirements. That's great. We do carry other things as well, but that's our sole focus, is to allow space for people that wouldn't get shelf space in other places, and also be something different, right? You're not going to find the party supplies that you find on our walls in a Target or a Walmart or anything like that.
Oh, that's cool. So then are you the one curating all that? Are you the buyer?
Yeah, so I do a lot of the buying, but we have Julie on our team. That is her wheelhouse. She does most of the buying. She checks, she uploads everything. We're powered by Shopify. So she's uploading everything onto Shopify. She's making sure the website is up to date, doing all the SEO, restocking items, making sure that we have enough and we're restocking what we're selling and, not necessarily buying what didn't work.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool. So I know nothing about retail. Where do you even like find what's cute? Like, do you order from catalogs? Do you go to trade shows? Like, I know nothing about that world.
It's so funny. I didn't know anything about retail either. The only retail store that I had worked at was one I worked at Bonobos, like in college or just after college, and you couldn't actually buy anything in there. It was like an e-commerce. It was almost like a walk-in store where men would just try on clothes. So I knew nothing about retail, which is so funny. And I feel like I learned something new every day. When we first were starting, we were, going on Instagram, really just trying to find other brands on just really Instagram and the internet. At this point in our business, we do go to trade shows occasionally. We'll go to like the New York Now in New York. And we did do Atlanta last year, which was so fun. The Atlanta market. I mean, you go there and there's 5 buildings and there must be, thousands of retailers in each building trying to, get their products on your
Oh, that's
shelves.
cool.
It's,
Yeah.
it's really cool. So we did that. A lot of people, we get dozens and dozens of emails every day with people asking if, we'll buy their items to sell in our shop. So we're
That's
pretty
neat.
lucky in that way too.
Cool. Okay. So it's clear. I mean, it's clear to me that it's not like, oh, I do balloons, so I'm just going to open a store and sell other things too. Like there's a lot more to it. So I guess what would your advice or maybe words of caution be to a balloon person who wants a brick and mortar and thinks like, oh, I might as well just turn it into a party shop? Like, is that something you would recommend, or are you like, don't do that?
Yeah, I would tell people to caution themselves. I think it takes this very special type of person. And I will say that I'll be the first person to say that I don't even know if I'm that person, right? It takes a special type of person. You really have to have a passion for retail. And I think if you are the type of balloon person that is okay with being in a shop, 8 to 10 hours a day, working with customers, which I do love. That's my favorite part. But you also have to be okay with, if you're not in a high traffic area, being alone with your own thoughts, 8
Right.
to 10
Yeah.
hours a day, right? A lot goes by, right? When it rains, we're in a walking town. So when it rains, we're slower. There are slow days. There are obviously busy days, like the highs are super high and the lows can be super low. But I think you really have to know like what sells and what people want to buy and what margins make sense for your business based on the rent you have, right?
Right. Are there ever things that you're just like so off base? You're like, I thought for sure those were going to fly off the shelves and I don't know why people don't like them. Or do you feel like you have a
Yes.
pretty good pulse on that?
No, we've bought some winners. We've bought some definite winners where Julie's told me, she's like, I don't think this is going to do well. And we've been like, okay, let's make a bet. And it does well. But there's also been some where I've made decisions that have cost us a lot, thousands
Oh,
and thousands
really?
of dollars.
Do
Yeah.
you remember one?
Oh, I'll
Like an
name drop
example?
one. Holly So I was told that Holly balls will, they're going to be a game changer. We're going to sell, hundreds. We're going to try and reorder and we're not going to be able to get them. We bought the minimum, which I think at the time was maybe $3,000 or $3,500 worth of
Oh
Holly.
my gosh.
It's a
Yeah.
lot. Oh, I can't sell these things to save my life. We're in 2 seasons later, still haven't sold them all. And people buy them, but we're at this point, we're like, buy one, get 3 free. And people are like, "No, I'm good." You also have to know your market, right? We're in a town that's mostly Jewish. So maybe not the best thing to buy a Christmas ornament inflatable ball for people's lawns. That was probably a swing and a miss. Yeah.
That's funny. Hilarious. Okay, so let's talk about balloons because I can see your beautiful balloon bar behind you. How much walk-in traffic do you have versus pickup orders versus installations? Because you kind of have to like staff your shop, but also go and do installs, right?
Yeah, so we are really lucky. We have a really strong team right now. We probably have 9 or 10 people. And there are some people that only work at the shop. And then there are some people that work at the shop as well as do installs. And then there are some people that only do certain installs, like mostly large scale installs. Yeah, so walk in, I would say people walk in. We probably get, I always say like 8 to 10 customers a day.
Okay.
It's not many, it's not a ton. We don't advertise our store. We just never have had the staff to be able to really advertise and feel comfortable. Like, I don't want this turning into, you go to Party City, you wait in line for 2.5 hours. That's insane.
Right. So your
I
preference is that people order ahead?
Yeah, so that's our preference. We let people order over the phone. We do get tons of, if people have ordered, been here once, they usually order over the phone. But the majority of our orders come in through our inquiry form online. And that's how we operate. So all of our large orders, like some of our clients who have spent the most with us, maybe, 10, 20, $30,000 in a year, have never been into our store. And we've asked them to come. I just don't think they'll ever show up.
Yeah. Are they corporate or what type of clients are
No,
those?
they're like people having parties at their homes.
Huh. Interesting.
I don't know why they don't want to come. I've called it I just said whatever a couple of years ago. It's like, all right, if you need party supplies, let me know. They're like, yeah, well. So there are some clients like that. Our corporate clients, they don't come into our store. Occasionally, one of them will come visit and say hello. But the majority of our business is really done and powered by our website. It's really easy to order certain things on our website to pick up, like 9 balloons. We have, a dozen options maybe.
Okay.
That usually covers most of the bases, like covers space and mermaid and, brightly colored and graduation. And then we have grab and go garlands. We probably do 20 to 30 a week, maybe.
Oh, great. Yeah. So that's a big seller.
And then helium bouquets. I don't know. We probably do several hundred helium balloons a week.
Okay.
And then as far as installs, we try not to book up. We try and take as many as we can. So if we're working with venues and we can deliver the night before, we have a lot of great relationships with venues. We'll do that just so we can, maybe take another Saturday delivery. But our team is typically working from 5 a.m. maybe till 4 or 5 p.m.
Okay.
on the
Very
weekend.
cool. So are you doing all the inflating and stuff there as well? Do you have like a studio space in the back, or are you inflating in front of customers? Like, how does that work?
Sarah, we work in about a 10 by 10 space and everything.
Oh my God.
If you've seen videos of our shop on busy weekends, we have, 20-foot ceilings. And so stuff gets inflated in a 10 by 10 space and it gets hung from the ceiling.
Oh, neat.
So if you are here on a college weekend, sometimes we have to lock the doors. We try not to, and we will lock the door. People can knock on the door. We'll come to the door and answer just because it gets so crowded in here. Sometimes we might have like 10 to 15 crazy towers, 30 columns. And at that point, we just don't have space for anybody to walk in here, which is a little bit of a bummer because it does annoy people. And I totally get it. I would be so annoyed if I drove somewhere and then I couldn't go into the store because it was just like covered in balloons.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we've been on a waiting list for a warehouse for over a year now. And they are definitely very hard to find where we are.
Oh, okay. So you want more space?
Yeah, we would love more space just to like fabricate balloon garlands.
Would you keep your store then? Because your store is beautiful. You would stay there, but then expand.
Yeah, exactly. So we're here. I think we have a 4-year lease with a 4-year option, and we're about 3 years in, I would say, almost 3 years in. So yeah, we just need additional space. We really just want it to make it easier for people to shop and see like all of our beautiful items. Sometimes people are in here like fighting balloon bags.
Yeah.
And they're like, what is hanging from the ceiling? We're like, oh, it's, college acceptance weekend. Like we have a lot of colleges that have like fiercely supported us and have always ordered from us.
Yeah.
3 years. So we're really lucky.
That's awesome. Let's take a quick break. And then I want to talk a little bit more about staffing because you need a lot of people because you're basically, in my mind, you're running 2 businesses. So I want to talk about some of those positions and how you manage it all. So we'll be right back. Are you ready to take your balloon business to the next level? Look no further than Having a Party Wholesale, your ultimate destination for all things balloons. Having a Party Wholesale is on the cutting edge of new products that will wow your clients from top brands like Tuftex, Jamar, Anagram, Ellie's, Sempertex, Premium Conwin, and introducing Brookloon, a new balloon line created by the Having a Party family. They've got the widest selection to fuel your creativity. Join the successful league of professional balloon artists who shop at havingaparty.com. All right, welcome back. Let's talk about your staff because you basically have a store and you do installs. So double what most of us are doing. Do you have different crews? Do they overlap? Do you have a manager? Do you manage that? Like you talked about your employee who manages kind of the buying and the website. What other positions do you have that are working well? Because I think hiring is one of those things that I know I struggle with. A lot of people struggle with because it's like, what can I take off my plate because I'm dying?
Yeah, I totally get that. Unfortunately, when I was in corporate America, I was always an individual contributor. worked in sales. I was always a strong individual contributor. I never managed people. Sometimes I would help with the interns, but that is like not my forte. So I think owning a business has been such a learning, it's been a learning curve, but such a experience and a process.
I've never heard that term before. And that's me exactly. Like I'm really good at working, but I don't want other people under me. Like I'm not good at it. I'm not good at managing teams, but individual contributor, interesting.
Yeah, I'm a strong individual contributor. And I think the difference is like I'm how I like to be managed. I really like someone to train me, right? I want them to train me, tell me exactly how they want something, show it to me once. What I didn't realize till I worked here is I have a really amazing, incredible memory. I don't want to like toot my own horn, but I can basically remember any conversation I've ever had with anybody. And I didn't realize like you can show me once. If I get it, like I'll remember it. Not everyone has that. And not everyone
Yes.
can be managed like that.
We're the same person. I'm like, why would you need to see it again? I just showed you. Like, how don't you
Exactly.
understand this completely?
Exactly. That is, we are the same. That is me to a T. People need stuff written down and they need to be shown multiple times. And they need to, some people like to like a manager who's more hands-on, which is I try and be super hands-off because I don't want to be a helicopter. I never like to be micromanaged when I was in corporate America. Like I'm not that person, but some people really like that. And that's like how they grow and how they do better. So figuring out people's different personalities and then trying to manage them from there. We do have someone who works on all of our email marketing. So her sole job is to design our email marketing and to send it out. That's, what she's done. She's probably the employee that I've had for the longest. She's been with me since the beginning. That is what she does. We have people that just work in the store. So in the store, we pride ourselves in being the friendliest shop in town. We want people to come in and feel like they are friends of ours. Like we will help you plan your party. Like what napkins can we get you? What candles? Like how can we match the balloons? Like we want everyone to feel super special, whether they're spending $20 or they're spending $2,000. That's something that's customer service is something that's always been so important to me. And I'm sure you've been into a store, right? And people don't want to talk to you or there's like someone like pounding on a keyboard in the back. And you're like, what? Like and then you leave and they're like, bye. And you're like,
Yeah.
wait, what just happened? Wait, why didn't you say hello? Like, what just happened?
I like sneak out the door. I'm like, this is so awkward.
This is so weird. Now, like when people come into our store, they're greeted with a big hey party people. We ask them what they're celebrating. And honestly, that has been such a key to our business because people want to support people that they like, right? People want to buy from people that they like, right? So not only yes, we want to be friendly, but it also is a sales tactic that's worked in our favor because if I ask you what you're celebrating, you're thinking like, okay, well, you could just be celebrating life, but you're thinking, okay, like this is fun. Like, what am I celebrating? What do I have coming up?
Mm-hmm.
And then we're like kind of asking you like, okay, like what are the cool, like what themes do you want? What is your kid like? Like, what is your husband? Does he play any sports? Does he like any TV shows? And it's getting people's ideas going.
So are you training your employees on that as well? Because
Yes,
that's like a whole other thing. Like I just have to train people how to make things and like fix things versus I don't have to teach how to have a personality. Like that seems extra impossible.
yeah, we hire on personality. We don't require any experience. We would actually prefer to people not to have any experience and just a really great personality.
Yeah.
I can teach you how to sell sand to a beach, right? I pride myself on like that I am a seller. I cannot teach you how to be a friendly, like nice, like outgoing person. I can't.
Right.
I've tried. It hasn't worked out for me. Once I figure it out, I think I'll make $1 billion. But until then, we hire based on personality. We like to hire people who are excited to be here. Most of the people are super passionate about balloons, way more than I am. And it's really exciting to work with those people. Yeah, it's so fun.
Well, I guess I have two questions. The first is, have you had hiring problems? I know it's hard some places to find help. And then have you had problems with people leaving and taking their knowledge to start other businesses, like a non-compete issue, or have you had any of those situations happen?
Yeah. So hiring problem, yes, it is very hard what I've learned is people actually don't know how to tie knots. That's basically the biggest issue we've had. So people don't get our process for training in-store sales associates is 2 to 3 weeks, depending on how fast you learn. And then our process for training installers is about 3 months.
Okay.
So in 3 months, you should have covered everything. Like you should have covered maybe 2 seasons and, how to do an arch, how to do confetti balloons, how to do, all the stuff, right? We say it takes about 3 months to feel really comfortable on all the installs. Some people can't get past day one. So our first training is a 2-hour helium training. And there are a lot of people that are like, hey, look, I didn't know I couldn't tie a knot.
Yeah. Like my fingers hurt. I'm out.
Yeah. And that's good. Like I'd rather lose people on day one than on day 90. Most of the people that work here for at least a year, which that's retail. That is what it is. This is not, there are very early mornings here. There are very late nights here. We try and avoid late nights as much as possible, but we are running a very large business with a very lean team. But no, I'm not worried about people taking their knowledge anywhere else because I realize that people don't remember everything.
Yeah.
I'm not really that concerned. Like I said, we're one of the largest balloon delivery companies in Connecticut, if not the largest. And if people can afford us, we're people's number one choice.
Yeah.
So no, it's not a concern. I think if you treat people well and you do right by people, for the most part, they'll do right by you, assuming that you've hired the right people.
Yeah. Right. Well, like I have one person that works for me and I'm obviously training her on everything. And there's nothing to prevent her from just like opening shop across the street. But at the same time, I'm like, why would she? Because she doesn't have to do that. If I just like pay her well, she can just come and work here, but I've had a lot of people be like, oh, be careful. They're going to take everything that you're teaching them. It's like, isn't it literally every company ever? Like every employee
company.
Anywhere? Like, I don't know.
No, I mean, I think that I'm very transparent. Like we go over sales numbers. They have sales goals here. We talk about if we're having a slow month. We talk about if we're having a really good month. I mean, they've seen people come in and cuss me out. The girls that work at the shop and Guy, we also have Van who works here as well. But the people that work at the shop are some of the nicest people that you'll meet. I won't loop myself into that. They are so much nicer. I wish to be like all of them. They have seen they've seen the high, they've seen the really when we're on a high and they've seen the lows. I mean,
Yeah.
I think a lot of them would just be like, wow, like that's maybe not for me. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not as concerned about it as I was when we first opened the shop, right?
Mhm.
It's like, oh, we need to have all these things in place. And now I'm like, honestly, if you want to go try, go for it. But I think most of the people that would have started a balloon business wouldn't come work here first. I think they would just start it.
Right. Right. Yeah, absolutely. Let's take another break. And then I want to talk about your new endeavor. I am also starting down this path of marquee rentals. I'm fascinated. I didn't know you were getting them until I saw you already had them online. So let's take a quick break and then start chatting.
Hi, I'm Jeff from Balloon Suite, and I get a lot of questions about how to price product, where to order product, where to get those balloons, where to get the supplies you need, and then how to manage your inventory in an easy way that isn't complicated, but also doesn't require some expensive tool or extra time every week. If you're looking for strategies to improve your business and how it operates, we've got those strategies for you over at balloonsuite.com. Check out the blog, get the value, get the business value from us. We work with hundreds of balloon decor companies, and so we know what it is you're facing. And I would love for you to get the benefit of that expertise and to check out the packages we offer to help you grow sales and get your marketing done.
All right. Welcome back. You drink the Kool-Aid. We both have marquee letters now. How did you decide to do this?
I was thinking about it for a while. Most of my best ideas or worst ideas come in the middle of the night. I just decide I'm going to do something and then I do it. Should people run businesses like that? Absolutely not.
I do. It's working fine.
But I do. It's worked this far. It's worked this long. I think so. We do have other marquee numbers in Connecticut. I did have trouble, I've had trouble booking them or helping our clients book them. Usually we did marquee. I don't know if you remember, we used to do marquee letter or numbers rather back in the day. Started in the pandemic. We had these, they were 4 feet and then they had a base. So they were about 4.5 feet tall. They were wood. They weighed 100 pounds. They were massive. They were wicked cool, but they were so heavy. And we thought when we got those, we would get the letters shortly after, but they were just so heavy that anytime someone rented it, I'd be sad.
Yeah,
right.
Like, I'm already like that. And I've done it once. So teach me your ways.
I'm like, oh my gosh, these are so heavy. Right. And we got rid of those. But people kept asking us. People would be like, okay, do you guys have the letters, do you numbers? And we would just contract it out. We would, reach out to the local company and we'd be like, hey, we need this. Sometimes they wouldn't send the contract, they wouldn't send the invoice, they wouldn't get back to us. There was like no sense of urgency.
Or like I've had ones too where it's like they're just not available, but like my sale is lost because the people really wanted the letters with the balloons. They don't want the balloons without the letters. So it's like if they're not available, I lose the sale.
Yeah, totally. And it was just too much of that where I was like, this is just a bump. I'm like, let's just make it easier, right? We do rent Kiara walls. We have like the hoop rental that everyone has. We have the sparkly backdrops. It just made sense for our business. And there's no one in our area that's really pumping out a large amount of marquee letters at this point. So, we found them. I feel like we got the deal of a lifetime. I bought them with another balloon artist. Like we just went in. I mean, we didn't buy them together. We bought them at the same time.
Okay.
And we were like, yeah, let's just do this. It was funny because for a while I was really pushing. I was like, are we going to get them now before the end of the year? Are we going to get them for New Year's? Like, what are we going to do? And they're made in the US, which we're really proud of. It just aligns with our brand so well.
And they're metal?
They're metal. Yes. Okay. But they're not wood. They're not
So
100 pounds anymore.
I have wood ones, but the metal, I didn't know of an option to get the metal ones. I like the wood. I love the metal. But yeah, I'm still figuring it out. Mine aren't 4 feet. They're 3 feet. So they're not, I wouldn't say they're 100 pounds. They're pretty light, but it's still just like I haven't figured out the process yet. Like it doesn't feel like streamlined.
Do you have a push cart?
I have a push cart. Of course, the first place I went had stairs and no elevator. I was like, oh my God. And then we have like the stacking rack, which I had to like figure out on the fly. They look amazing and they sell themselves. That's what's nice about it. I have someone else doing my sales now. And if someone wants it to say prom 2024, that's a very easy sale to make versus someone who wants like something to frame the gift table. It's like, okay, well, like what, that's a design, that's balloons. It's like they never really know what they're getting. The marquee letters, it's like pretty straightforward. So I like them. But I have to figure out, I need like a toolbox of like emergency stuff and I need the bulbs and I need this. I'm just not like streamlined yet. So I feel very, very clunky. But are yours renting? Like, have you already started renting them?
Yeah, we haven't sent an email yet because we're behind and we've been advertising for so many other events like Taylor Swift, Star Wars Day, like graduation preview. We've been having so many parties here. So we haven't sent an email about marquees, but we've had them outside. We had them outside for our Taylor Swift album release party. So many people were like, I need these for graduation. And we keep getting the same requests. I'm getting nervous. We keep getting like a school, we're right by the school called KO. Everyone's like, oh, I want KO 2024.
Yeah.
Like, well, we have 2 sets of KO and we only have 2 sets of 2024. So like first come, first serve. But yeah, we rented them before we got them. I was like, okay, we're going to get them. We rented them. We did the Bad Bunny concert.
Okay.
At the Excel Center. We do a lot of their events there. And then we have this huge graduation party coming up this weekend. I'm actually so excited for. It's someone's first and last name. It's stacked. She just finished med school and she's getting a ton of balloons surrounding it. So I can't wait to post that. Like I'm just excited about that install. But yeah, we're renting them faster than I thought we would. And
that's great.
I'm hoping to make our money back by the end of grad season or, end of summer. A lot of our people have grad parties in August here. So yeah, I think we'll make our money back by then. And
I do feel like I see balloon people expanding. Like it makes sense to get the backdrops because that actually like helps. That's something to put the balloons on. I feel like framework is kind of part of balloons, but I have been paying attention to watch how people are expanding. The marquees are one thing. I've seen like the candy carts or like cotton candy machines or, there's all these different ways of expanding, which I think is smart, but you need the staff and you need the space. So that's my question for your space. Obviously, they're not going in your little 10 by 10,
they're not here.
Place. So where did you just rent a storage unit or how are you managing that?
We got a very expensive storage unit that's about 10 minutes from our shop. We decided that we'll pull all of the letters that we need for the weekend on Friday. And they'll either, if there's too many, they can go the morning of, but they'll sit in our shop stacked. And that's how we're going to operate until we have a warehouse space. And honestly, our setup is pretty cool. We've got like shelving and everything's alphabetical. It's super easy.
Yeah, it looks really nice.
Thanks. I will say the setup we have for like the back that's holding, like the stand that's holding the letters we might need to find an alternative for that because ours has like 600 pieces. It's like building a Lego
Oh, okay.
thing. It's not an easy like pull out where you can stack. And I'd like to be able, we do a lot of outdoor. That's like our wheelhouse is outdoor. And I feel like the wind over here is really bad. So we have to find kind of an alternative to that. But yeah, people are really expanding. I mean, I'm not in the rental business. I'm not going to buy some tent and chairs. Like that's where I think that's where I draw.
No, I'm too lazy. There's no way.
There's no way. There's no way. I admire JoJo. She's a person I think about a lot.
She's the linens, I mean, she's everything. And I'm like,
The
you
tents,
couldn't pay me enough. I am so lazy.
I was like, who's putting up the tent? She's like, it's easy. I do it. And I'm like, that's insane to me. Like, that is crazy. Good for you. I wish I could be like you, but I can't. My back hurts.
Even setting up chairs. If they were like chairs rent for $100 each, I'd be like, no, I'm not going to do it. But then when I found out it's like $2 a chair, I was like, there's no way. Like, I can even clean my own house. I'm not going to clean someone else's chairs after a party.
Yeah, no. Karen is another from KJ Rentals is another person I talked. She's a good friend of mine. And the amount of time she has to clean like pollen off of chair. Like, how do you have the energy at the end of a very long balloon day? How do you have the energy?
Well, bounce houses, you just reminded me. Bounce houses are another area a lot of people expanded. And for me, it was like, I'm not cleaning that thing. Like I thought about it for a second and I was like, there's no way I'm getting out with like a power washer and cleaning a bounce house. I think they're beautiful. I love them. I can't do it. Like I will never do it.
Yeah, we did. We had the white bounce house. We were one of the first people.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And we had the 3-sided bounce house, the insurance on that thing. I mean, the number of people who don't get the proper insurance is terrifying. You pay like $7,000 to $9,000 a year on insurance. And we rented ours for about $1,000 for 4 hours. But people are out here renting bounce houses for $200. I'm like, you can pay to leave my house for 200. Like I couldn't.
Right. So you got rid of it. Did you sell it?
Yeah. You know, it's so funny. Last year we were doing a huge graduation party and our client was like, I need that bounce house. And I was like, you know what? Our insurance is up. We didn't renew it. We're selling it. She's like, I'll buy it.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
Came to our house. She picked it up. She had the bounce house at her party and she still has the bounce house.
That's amazing. Yeah. Mom of the year right there. Like who wants to come over?
It was wicked cool. Oh, it was wicked cool. I was like, wow, it was like a headache that had been weighing on me and it was taking up my parents' garage. It was, we had a 100-pound bounce house. It was massive.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's
my
interesting.
Parents were like, when are you getting this out of here? I'm like, never.
Okay. Another reason why rentals are interesting to me. I don't foresee this happening soon, but there may come a time where balloon people have to pivot because there are people trying to ban balloons. So I want to take a break, but you got hit hard with a balloon ban in your area or a proposed balloon ban. So I just want to touch on that before we wrap up. So let's take a break and then talk about the unthinkable, the balloon ban. Hey listeners, before we wrap up today's episode, let's talk about our fantastic sponsor, the Balloon Guild. Do you ever see amazing balloon decor online and wonder, how did they make that? The Balloon Guild is revolutionizing the industry by standardizing recipes, SOPs, and offering unparalleled training. Their mission? To elevate balloon artists worldwide, ensuring efficiency, profitability, and unparalleled professionalism. For business owners and their teams, the Balloon Guild isn't just a resource, it's a game changer for growth and development. For me, it's been the ultimate shortcut in finally getting things out of my head and onto paper, so I'm not making things up on the fly, and so my team can work together to create consistent, fast decor. Visit their platform today at theballoonguild.com or by using the link in the show notes. New recipes and resources are released every month. All right, welcome back. Balloon ban. I remember you texting and being like, look at this. And it was, I don't know, a newspaper article or something. Someone in your town or in your county, like they pushed for the balloon ban and you have effectively fought it, right? Like what happened and what have you done?
Yeah. So I got a text from a friend at the beginning of the week and she was like, did you see this article? They're trying to ban balloons in Connecticut. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. I didn't think too much of it. I sent it to one of our distributors and they were like, don't worry about it. Like when it comes up, you'll fight it. They'll move on to better things. By that Thursday, I get a call and they're like, they're going to ban balloons. Like it's happening. They're going to ban balloons. And I'm like, okay, like when? And they're like, well, it'll be effective on Saturday. And then you guys will have to close up shop in October.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, is this real life? I don't think I've ever cried so much
I
in
would have
the,
had like a
the 4
stroke.
days. Yeah. So what happened was it was right before float too. So a lot of people, balloon artists that are in Connecticut had already left for float.
Hmm.
So basically what I did is I called our town and our town was like, what the heck? Like, this is insane. We
Like
called our state,
who was trying to ban it? Like at what level of
the
government?
Connecticut Democrats
Okay.
so it was like certain state reps that sit under the Senate, I believe.
Okay.
And they were going to the state capitol with the ban that I believe it was on a Thursday morning or Friday morning. Must have been on a Friday morning. They were like, yep, we're going to go and we're going to ban it. And that's it. And a lot of people, we called our town reps and they're like, yeah, it probably, let's see if it's actually holds weight. Like, let's see if they're just kind of floating this idea or if they're really going to pursue it. And then I get a call back. They're like, no, they're going to pursue it. Like, this is happening. So I'm like hysterical. Our PR team is like, what the heck, working to like email everyone, like all of our best clients that, support us weekly. And they're like, I'm like, I'm calling people, can you write a letter on my behalf? So now I basically, the whole town is on a fire trail. Like people are writing letters saying to the Capitol and they're like, hey, we love Pink Flamingo Party Co. Like basically save this business. Like this is terrible. We called all of our state reps, the ones that live in our town, the one that are represent the town that our business is in. It was very overwhelming. We have such a great group of people who shop here. There are people I called, some of our top clients that were on vacation, like in Europe. And they're like, what can I do? Like, I'm happy to write a letter.
That's awesome.
People calling like the governor, like it just felt very dramatic. It was very dramatic, but it also was like, why are they focusing their time on this? Like, this is where
that's the thing. Like,
are going.
I don't know the science behind balloons. I don't really know. That's not the sword I'm going to die on. Like whether or not they biodegrade or whatever. Like, I don't care. But it confuses me, like the same thing with like the paper straws. Straws and balloons have become everyone's number one enemy. But I'm like, you're serving me a drink with a paper straw in a plastic cup. Like, I don't understand.
Exactly.
Like, it's just none of it aligns. But for some reason, like everyone thinks that balloons and straws kill all the turtles. Like that is their argument. And I just think it's odd because I'm like, have you looked at like the other stuff happening in the world? Like it's pretty rough out there. Maybe let's not focus on this.
Yeah, no, balloons don't land in top 10 of things that are hurting our oceans. We do not support balloon releases here. Connecticut currently supports balloon releases up to 10 balloons, which we do not allow people.
Oh, that's odd. I feel like no balloon companies support releases.
Yeah. So to go from one end to the other. So essentially we went to the state capitol. We took our whole team. We got other balloon companies in Connecticut to join us. Like I said, not everyone was available, but about 15 to 20 people came. The majority of balloon businesses are owned by women and minorities in Connecticut. And so we went up, we found out there was hundreds of people that were going to speak before us. I sit down and I see this guy and I'm like, and I have a great memory. And I'm like, that guy's bought balloons from us before. Like, who is that guy? And I'm like talking to my team and he comes over and he's like, Ashley, he's like, when this bill came up, I was totally thinking about you. We had done his baby shower.
Okay.
He worked for the Republicans. And I was like, yo, like, what time am I going to go? And he was like, you'll probably go at 3 or 4 a.m. to speak. Like, cause it's going to go all night. And mind you, it's 11 a.m. He's
all
like,
about this ban or other things?
Everything, every environmental thing. They like randomize the order. So he's like, let me see if I can get you up in line. He gets us to number 7.
Nice.
So we didn't have to wait at all. He was like, this is BS. Like, this is totally hurting small business. And I went and I spoke and I basically essentially told them, like, I don't think you understand what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
And they didn't like that. I mean, you know me. I'm like, you don't understand what's going on here.
Let me tell you, Senate.
Let me tell you what's going on. And they looked at us. I mean, we showed up in we wear pink jumpsuits. So we showed up in our pink jumpsuits and they were like, who are you guys in your pink jumpsuits? We're like, we're from Pink Flamingo. Who are you? So we spoke. I really felt attacked. I've never felt so attacked probably in my life. And
I would have
think
cried. Did your face get red? I couldn't do
not
it.
when I was there. No, when I was there, I was like guns blazing. I was like,
Yeah.
I'll be damned if I worked for 5 years. I'm a Connecticut taxpayer. You're taking away my right to work.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Like, get out of here. I mean, my dad's an attorney and my dad was like, do you want me to go? I'm like, no, it's okay. Like everyone was trying to, oh, sorry, already start to a busy day. But everyone was, advocating on our behalf, and they decided that they didn't want to go up against balloon businesses in Connecticut. And they removed the bill, and it's not moving forward. Yeah, I know. I think it would have looked really bad for Connecticut Democrats if they wanted to, take down women and minority businesses.
Yeah, I think the pink outfits probably helped, honestly.
They saw me and they were like, oh, that's not the girl I want to mess with this week.
Yeah, like imagine that on the cover of the paper, like crying cute balloon girls in their outfits. Like, oh, government's so mean. We need to have someone on from, what is it called? You probably know. What's the new environmental, the Balloon Council thing?
It's called CREC. Celebration Safe. Ooh, I think it's called CREC.
Okay, I'm going to do some research. We need to have someone on because I don't actually know the facts. I just know that it doesn't make sense in my mind. Why balloons are public enemy number one. It just doesn't make any sense.
I think it's just small wins is basically what they explained to us. But I will say with the Safe Celebration, they're owned by Party City. And I do believe truly in my soul that Party City and Dollar Tree are the reason why balloon bans are coming up to begin with. No one's going into a luxury party shop, purchasing $100 balloon bouquet and releasing it. If Party City charged more, or we require all of our balloons to go out the door weighted. We follow California balloon law. That is not, we give the weights for free. That is not something we're required to do. That is something that we're committed to. And the majority of balloon companies in Connecticut that are small business owned are also committed to.
Yeah. So, versus the Dollar Tree doesn't give a crap.
The Dollar Tree is not committed to that. Party City's not committed to that. And that's kind of my issue where we were going a little bit back and forth because look, our latex balloons are biodegradable. We stand by that. They're made in the US. Whereas Party City, that is not the case. They're not even claiming to be biodegradable. And so when we were trying to go up against the Capitol, we were kind of going tit for tat on that, where they were like, please don't mention biodegradable. And I'm like, well, these are things that we actually committed to, that, we've put money behind and things that we believe in. And I've spoken about it. We've been featured in Black Enterprise. We've been featured in Forbes. We've been featured in the Hartford Courant. These are things I've spoken about for years. So I want to be authentic to ourselves and our brand and really keep advocating for, I don't believe in balloon releases, and I use biodegradable when you can, dispose of balloons properly. Don't leave them outside. We don't do installs on the beach, right? So that's my only gripe with that. But, we do what we can. And anyone that's standing behind advocating for small business is, a friend of mine, I guess.
Well, that's awesome. Congratulations. I mean, that I would have just been like, oh, fingers crossed. I hope they don't ban it. So good for you. That's really an awesome accomplishment.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, anyone who needs help that is feeling like they have the world placed on their shoulders because their state is bringing up a balloon ban, feel free to DM us, reach out to us. We're happy to give you all of the collateral we have that we sent to our clients, what we used, more than happy. Because we had some messages when I had brought it up where people were like, this actually happened in my city and balloons are banned and we're not allowed to deliver to this county anymore. And then that's kind of what lit a fire under my butt. I was like, okay, could be a real thing. And then I heard October and I'm like, I've got a year and a half left on my lease. No.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, that is alarming. Well, congratulations. And thanks for coming on and sharing all about everything. It was
good to catch up.
Yeah, it was about time. I really appreciate it. Thanks for listening. As usual, I tried to keep it bright and light. Our presenting sponsor is 17 Hats, the CRM I use to cut the chaos and manage my entire balloon business. From the lead capture form on my website to workflows and email templates, invoicing and grab-and-go garland automated bookings, it's all powered by 17 Hats, the best customer relationship management system for balloon businesses. There's even a 50% off coupon code waiting for you in the show notes wherever you're listening. I'll see you next week in another episode.